So today I was able to get this thing to start up. Yesterday you'll remember that we had some bare wires on the carburetor solenoid, so I got that up and working. But then I took it for a test run, and ignition coils are bad. They'd run for a while and then they get hot and they'd start, well, this side over here started misfiring. So it was actually kind of hard to determine. I ran it for probably 15 minutes and not even a hiccup. But then I took it to mow a little bit and I didn't even make it one full lap and it started misfiring pretty bad. So I ordered some ignition coils. We'll get this thing running in a couple days. So my excitement came in today. Been telling you about this winch for the back of the truck. It finally came in, so hopefully I'll have some time this weekend to do it. I may not be able to get it done because the guy who owns that has a leaky axle, and he's wanting me to work on it on the weekend. So I'll see how critical that is, because maybe I can work on it Monday. So that just needs a new seal and some oil put in. So, but I got the winch right here. I just threw it in the back of the truck for now. It's got the winch, it's got the directional bearing thing. I got to assemble it, but I'll assemble it once I have the boards in place. So I'll get those boards Saturday probably, or so. I tested it, it works. And I figured out an easy way to hook up the controller. I really just could not imagine bolting and unbolting the controller every time I needed to use it. And of course, running wire. I thought about having to run wire, but I didn't really want to run wire too terribly bad from the battery. So I'll show you what I did here. I put some clamps on it, and so essentially all I need to do, make sure you're in, is I'll hook this. See, it's color coded, blue and yellow. So here's the yellow wire. You just go like this, and then I can take jumper cables, and I got this hooked up. I take the jumper cable and run it from the battery, hook the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative, and then clamp onto this, and that gives me the power. Kind of explain how this works. There's 4 wires on here. The yellow and blue go from the controller to the winch, and the red and black go to the battery, to the controller. So if that makes any sense. So that's well on its way to getting resolved. This part right here was stressing me out the most, how I was wanting to wire it, because this isn't waterproof. So that would have meant that I would have had to unbolt this every time I wanted to use it. And if I hooked it directly to the battery, I would have to unbolt it from the battery too, and then put it back together. And I just couldn't see doing that. I thought that was a lot of work. So this is just a simple solution. There may be other ways. I thought about using like a plug-in, but for now, this is going to work, and this uses supplies I already have on hand. So one step closer. Somebody suggested, and I like the idea quite a bit. I talked about maybe one of these days putting something on top of the rails where I could pull the zero turns up to here onto that platform, because I can't fit a zero turn in here. But if I had it set up here, then obviously I could set it up pretty easy. See, when I get past 50 inches, it hits right here. You can see that I've hit. So I like that idea. So what he said was, I guess I need to explain what he said. What he said is like the tow truck with the flatbeds, to somehow slide that top off, that I would build down, then run your lawnmower up onto that sled, put rollers on it or something, and then when you strap down the zero turn onto the sled, and then pull the sled and the mower up onto the rails. I really like that idea. It sounds scary. Is the only downside is it sounds pretty scary. But I do like the idea. The thing is I've seen something that ATVs have a similar design. I gotta find a picture of it because I don't really remember what it looks like. But somebody posted on Facebook, one of the groups that, for this area. I know who posted it, so I'm gonna just search for their name. But for ATVs, they have a similar system where it sits above the rails. And the guy who posted it said it was just a picture is what it was, that he saw somebody when he was driving by him. And he thought it was unsafe, that it would make the truck top heavy. Well, maybe it makes the truck top heavy, but just drive slow. So I really like that idea. So I learned something about modern day vehicles yesterday. I had no idea. This truck sits here in the shade all day until about, I don't know, 3 or 4 o'clock. You can see right now it's shaded. Right in front of the truck, it's shaded. But as the sun goes to the west, that shade's going to go away. So the sun just pounds the truck just for a few hours a day. So yesterday, at about, I don't know, maybe 4 o'clock. Yeah, it's probably 4 o'clock. I needed to get some stuff from the hardware store. And it's just a little trip. Now, when we go on a trip, I try to warm the truck up until the oil is warm. Since we've had that last problem, I've decided I'm not going to tear up my truck anymore. I'd rather waste the gas. So we're really trying to plan out our trips now so we're not wasting gas. Just running, short little trips. And I feel like we're doing a pretty good job with that. Well, yesterday I had to go to the hardware store. Well, I mean, this is not that far away. So we took a trip around, and first thing I noticed, there's Skitty. She wants in. So the first thing I noticed was the air conditioner wasn't working. And I thought, oh man, that is something I'm not going to spend money to fix, but I sure did like that air conditioner. So it was disappointing. So anyway, we're driving a ways and beginning to notice that the temperature gauge was not going up. And I thought that was really odd. I'm going to fix my grease gun here, it's leaking. And it was just obvious it wasn't going up, so I was keeping a close eye on it. And it was just stuck down on the cold side. I think it's 160 degrees is the lowest temperature it reads. So we get to the hardware store. Of course, we went an extra 3 miles. And I get out and I hear the fan running for the cooling system in front of the radiator. Now I'm worried. So I've shut off the air conditioner. And I let Carolyn, we leave the engine running because I want to keep it, get it warm. And I just don't know what's going on because that temperature gauge isn't working. It's terrifying me. So I go in, I get my piece. I mean, it took me 3 seconds to get the piece, but it took the cashier 20 minutes to figure out how to work his computer. So I ran outside, got in the truck, and I noticed the oil pressure was really high. And Carolyn said, yeah, it's been sitting at about 58 the entire time it's sitting here. She said she thought it was high too, which it was. Usually, it's in the 40s when the engine is cold like that. and then it'll drop down into the 30s and 20s. So, I mean, we've been really monitoring the truck ever since we had the last problem with the oil pressure sensor. And so I'm freaked out. And now I'm noticing that the truck is not shifting correctly. It's got a loss of power. So that means the overhead valves are not the variable valve timing, they're not working. Essentially, nothing is working. And it just freaked me out. So instead of going out and warming up the engine even more like I normally do, we come straight home. And it's occurred to me that there is a computer problem. I don't know why I thought this. I thought, I wonder if the computer can get hot. Like a computer in this house, you know, we don't have air conditioning, so a computer sitting in the house, there's times the computer just says, okay, I've had enough, and I got to stop editing videos. So I'm thinking maybe the computer got hot. So I open the hood and I touch around, and the engine's relatively cool since we didn't drive it very far. So I checked the computer, and it's warm, but I didn't think it was that hot. But I touched the front of the truck, where the headlight is and all that stuff, and I couldn't put my hand on it. It was so hot that it was going to burn me if I'd have left it on there any length of time. So that sun is just pounding down on that truck. So I leave the hood up. I put a tarp on it to kind of shade the truck or the engine, and then I disconnect the battery to reset the computer. And we waited from the time we got back, so 4:15 to about 7:30. We watched a movie, and then we took it for a test drive. And the instant I turned I turned the truck on, I immediately reached over, turned on the air conditioner, and it was blowing cold air, which it never did blow cold air the whole time we were driving it before. So drove it around for probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes, get the oil warm. Ran perfectly. Everything was fixed. The thermometer for the thermostat, that was working. The transmission was working. Everything was working. So I Googled it most of the night, actually, while we were watching the movie. Can the computer get too hot? And from the sun, just, you know, sitting in the parking lot. And it can. You got to keep it shaded. I had no idea. I mean, when did this happen? We've had the truck for 10 years. And it's parked there for 4. And I've never noticed that being a problem. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention, and now I'm paying more attention because we've had that oil pressure issue. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe the air conditioner definitely triggered me into paying attention maybe a little bit more. But I was pretty convinced the air conditioner had just, you know, died, which, you know, it's a 10-year-old truck. It's bound to happen. And I was disappointed. I even told Carolyn, oh, there goes the air conditioner. The last sign of modern conveniences. So, but it's all working again. So I think from now on, I'm just going to put a tarp in front of the truck to try to keep it cool. I guess. I mean, I don't know where else to park it. I mean, it's sunny everywhere, except where it's at until the evening time, and then it gets a little sun just for a few hours. So, oh well, at least we figured it out, and we figured it out pretty quickly. So, what I wanted to mention here is if you're having trouble after, you know, you've parked in your parking lot for a few hours, that you may want to consider. Oh, and yeah, you may want to consider this computer issue. Get your car to cool down, and you're not going to be able to cool it down with air conditioner. That's obvious. Some computers are inside the car, and some are like mine, where that's inside the engine area. I don't even know how it stays warm enough when the engine is running. It seems to me it would get pretty hot in there. But I don't understand it, but I'm sure that was the issue, because it instantly resolved itself as soon as everything cooled down. So anyway, that was my day and a half, or whatever you want to say. So if you'll click this up next box, it'll take you to a video on my other channel, and it should be a brand new video today. So if I can inspire you to figure it out, sing live your dreams. Thanks for watching.